Hey guys, welcome back to your channel. In this episode, I'm going to talk about why is it so important to love yourself. This topic is what I wanted to share with everyone the most in my podcast. So in my previous episodes, I was giving you some preconditions for me to give you this idea of loving yourself. So why is it so important to love yourself? I have not found this idea of loving yourself until I was turning 30. I guess in my 20s I didn't notice how important it is to love yourself, and I actually didn't really love myself. But as I turned 30, as I complete my study in the UK, I became more philosophical and spiritual, I guess, and more knowledgeable. And then somehow this idea came to my mind. Why loving yourself is the answer to all the issues in your life, and why living for yourself will change your life. I remember when I was in elementary school, my teacher was giving a question to everyone. He asked everyone, what do you think the purpose of life is? And every kid was answering their own answer. I thought the purpose of the life is to give birth so that you can pass your genes to the next generation. But my elementary school teacher told everyone that the purpose of your life is to love. And I didn't get what that meant back then. I guess no kid got it, what the teacher meant. But now I understand, and I would like to share my thoughts with everyone. What does it mean by loving yourself? I guess loving yourself is not only loving your good points, it's also including your bad points, your negative aspects. You just accept yourself as it is. And you would appreciate your own existence in this world, in this universe, because your existence itself is really wonderful. And just you existing in this world is such a wonderful thing. And your existence itself deserves to be loved. I think that is what it means to be loving yourself. And it's the sense of accepting yourself as you are. And you admit that the current yourself is good enough. And this idea sometimes might contradict with the idea that if you accept yourself as it is, then you will stop making efforts and you will stop improving yourself. But I don't think that those two ideas will go contradictory to each other. I think you can still accept yourself as you are, and then at the same time make more efforts to improve your own skills, your own abilities. And I even think if you can accept yourself, then the speed of your improvement in something will be even faster than you denying yourself and then you making effort in something. So this notion of your existence itself is amazing, and what you are as it is just the wonderful you, and the best condition of you is what I wanted to share with everyone. And another idea I want to share with everyone is that there is no good or bad in this world ultimately. What do you think good and what you think bad is just merely your own perspective. Actually, the events in this world itself is genuine event. It doesn't have meaning, good or bad. It's you that gives meaning to an event in this world. And also, if you can broaden your perspective to a spiritual world, I think your understanding on what it means by loving yourself will accelerate. And these days I always watch Momoyo channel. She's like a psychic living in the UK. She's a Japanese, and she has her own YouTube channel. And these days I watch her channel a lot. And even though she is in a spiritual industry, I may say, but what she is saying is really actually realistic and gives me many insights on how to live happily in this world and how to love yourself. So if you have any prejudice in spiritual stuff, then you shouldn't have any bias to begin with, and you should just explore what these people are saying. So I recommend you to watch Momoyo channel. And what if you don't love yourself and you can't accept yourself? What happened? If you don't accept yourself, then you cannot accept other people either, because what you're seeing in this world is just a projection of your mind's projector, which I talked about in my episode 3. What you're seeing, what you think is reality, is merely a projection of your heart. And what you project onto the screen is the data that you have stored in your subconscious mind, which was accumulated since you were born. That's why whatever inside your heart will be reflected into your world. And if what's inside your heart is a negative one, like you don't like yourself or you can't accept yourself, and then you will not be able to like other people, and you will not be able to accept other people either. And if you think your life is full of negative events, then before you blame other people, before you blame the environment you're living in, please go back to your own mind, go back to your own heart, and talk to your own mind and find out what's inside your mind, what's inside your heart. And then please accept yourself as it is, because you are just wonderful by existing in this world. And for instance, this is my private experience, but my parents divorced when I was 13 or 14 years old. And back then I thought my mom just dumped me, and I was such a unhappy kid, and I didn't understand why I had to face such a sad event, and I couldn't accept the fact that my parents divorced. I thought I was living in a happy life until then, and suddenly I thought, oh, I'm so unhappy. My whole life is so unhappy. But as I said before, ultimately in this world there is no event that is bad or good. Even the divorce of your parents, after all, is not bad or good, because this is just your own perspective. If you think that was a bad event, that was a bad event. Back then I thought that was a super bad event, but now, after almost 20 years, I can finally think that even the divorce of my parents was a good challenge, was a good learning opportunity for me to grow up, to have more thoughts, and to consider, to wonder about the meaning of my life. So even the divorce of my parents was a good opportunity for me. And now I can label this event as a good event. But you don't really realize that you are learning something from a negative or bad or sad event when you're right in that experience. Only after you got out of that experience, and then you realized that was a good learning opportunity. And then I also came to think that even I was hating my mother for dumping me, but even my mother was a victim in a sense, that she wasn't loved by her mother, which is my grandma, either. And she couldn't get unconditional love from my grandma either. And when you were raised in that way, my mom probably doesn't accept herself, doesn't love herself either. I can feel she doesn't love herself still now. And it's so difficult for me to tell that to my mom and try to change her. So I try not to change her, but I can feel that from her words, that she still doesn't accept herself and doesn't love herself. But that's why my grandma passed that to my mom, and my mom passed that on to me. But I realized this fact that loving yourself is very important, so I don't have to pass that notion to my kid, which was good. And if your parents were also not good parents, and you think you couldn't get unconditional love from your parents, unconditional love and conditional love. Conditional love is when someone loves you only if you do something, they love you. But unconditional love is whatever you do, whatever state you are in, it doesn't matter. They just love you by the fact that you exist. So they accept your existence and they love you so much. And if you think you couldn't get unconditional love from your parents, which I am also one of those, then I will think this way. Even my parents didn't give me unconditional love, but the God gives me the unconditional love all the time. From the moment I was born to the moment I die, even after my death, the God will still give me unconditional love. If you don't believe in God, you don't have to think this way. You can replace God with something else like universe or a light or sunshine, whatever thing you think you appreciate, you feel the warmth, then you can just think these things are giving you unconditional love. Even a tree, a mountain, natural stuff, they are also giving you unconditional love, and you can feel that love that they are giving you. And the existence of yourself, your existence just means you're being loved. We all should be realized that by just living in this world, we are being loved so much. And after all, this world is made of love. But I might talk about this world is made of love analogy in my another episode. So in this episode, what I wanted to share with everyone is that if you are able to love yourself, then most of the problems you face in your life will be solved. But loving yourself doesn't just mean loving your strong points, your good points. It means to accept everything of yourself, including your negative aspects, your bad aspects. Because after all, there is not good or bad in this world. Because your existence itself, it's just like a miracle, and it's just amazing. And you are the only existence in this world, in this universe. No one else is you. So I will again and again touch upon this idea of loving yourself in my later episodes as well, because I think this is so important that everyone should know this. Even I think the school should teach kids to love themselves, because no one told me this is so important. And once I was able to practice this notion, then my life has changed a lot in a positive way. So I just want to share this with everyone as well. Those of you who already know this will think it's such an obvious thing to accept yourself, to love yourself. But those of you who didn't realize this, please be realized right now, today. And please start thinking the meaning of this. And please try to accept your existence, to accept yourself. Even you weren't loved by your parents, it's okay, because the world, the universe loves you. And that's an unshakable fact. And if you doubt that, please read books in many fields, not just in spiritual or religious. Even you read some quantum physics or anything, after all you'll find out that you are being loved and your existence is great. I can't really explain well here, but this is what I felt after reading many books in many fields. So today I will stop here. I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.